Hey, what's up, guys? Today, I'll show you a horror film, Jennifer's Body. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Is it ethical to sacrifice someone in order to gain an advantage? This film, titled Jennifer's Body, poses this question. In this film, a beautiful high school student becomes possessed and must consume human flesh in order to reclaim her beauty. Additionally, a band called Low Shoulder has made a sacrifice to the devil in exchange for fame. Accomplishing our dreams is the ideal form of success that a person can wish for. The majority of people work extremely hard to gain popularity, money, or anything else that fits their definition of success. On the other hand, the fictional characters in this film demonstrate an evil desperation to obtain their dreams. It contains numerous graphic scenes that are not suitable for young audiences. Certain scenes and lines may mislead the audience as to the values and ethical views of others. However, this film is commendable for those with a high tolerance for bloody scenes and those who do not take the film's story plot seriously. The film begins with a narration by a young woman named Needy. She is telling an event from her life. She continues to receive more letters than a famous person. According to her, they continue to give her advice. She has attempted, but nothing has changed. Needy is currently being held in solitary confinement. She is incarcerated on the grounds that she's a violent mental inmate. There she is, walking around and eating some toast. A doctor approaches her and informs her that eating toast is insufficient, but Needy violently pushes her away, refusing to be dictated to. As a result of what she did, the personnel placed her in an asylum. A flashback is revealed in this scene. Jennifer is a stunning young lady, as Needy describes her. Jennifer has been her best friend since then, despite their lack of common attributes. Jennifer invites Needy to join her at Melody Lane. Needy initially declines due to a commitment, but Jennifer's ability to persuade convinces Needy to agree. That night, Needy is occupied with preparing for her visit to Melody Lane. She informs her boyfriend Chip that they will be attending a performance by the Low Shoulder, an indie rock band. Chip is advising her that it is not worth it, but Needy approaches him and kisses him, which results in Chip undressing. But he stops because Jennifer arrives. Jennifer and Needy see the band at Melody Lane, and Jennifer, being a fangirl, walks up to introduce herself. Nikolai, the singer, approaches her and strikes up a brief conversation with her. Jennifer offers them a drink, and while Needy is waiting, she overhears the band passing judgment on their virginity. Needy approaches them and informs them that Jennifer is her best friend, and they are correct. She is still a virgin. Jennifer is astounded by the Low Shoulders' performance. She is unable to speak, and her gaze is fixed on them. While everyone is engrossed in the performance, a fire quickly spreads throughout the venue. Jennifer is snatched up by Needy and escorted out through the washroom windows. Jennifer appears to be hypnotized at this point. Her state is deplorable. Later on, Nikolai approaches and invites to join them in their van. He expresses concern, but Needy maintains her principles. Jennifer, however, joins them despite Needy's pleas. Needy has returned home. She calls her boyfriend to inform him of what has occurred. The doorbell rings during their conversation, and she goes downstairs to check it and discovers that no one is behind the closed doors. However, Needy continues to inspect the house, and Jennifer later surprises her. Jennifer is wounded at this point, and she removes a chicken from the refrigerator. Needy attempts to intervene but is terrified when Jennifer screams loudly and later vomits a black, sticky liquid. She hands her phone, but Jennifer intervenes. Jennifer is on the verge of biting her, but instead pushes her out of her face and leaves the house. Needy is at school, and her classmates are gossiping about her inability to speak. She is still reeling from the ordeal she endured last night. Jennifer then enters the classroom looking stunning and dismisses Needy's concern. She appears apathetic to the entire tragedy that occurred. Despite what she witnessed, Needy continues to be in awe of Jennifer's stunning appearance. Chip then approaches her, and she begins to recount everything that has occurred. She describes Jennifer's appearance from last night, but Chip informs her that she may have inhaled something. Chip remains unconvinced regardless of how detailed Needy's description is. While the town mourns the loss of life caused by the fire, Jennifer seduces Jonas, Craig's best friend. She informs Jonas that he has one final message before he dies and later takes him into the woods. They begin tongue massaging each other, but Jonas notices that some animals are watching them. Jennifer, on the other hand, is unconcerned and eventually undresses herself and Jonas. She informs Jonas that he will soon meet his best friend, and then pushes him and begins devouring his flesh. Jonas screams extremely loudly, drawing the teacher's attention to the situation. The teacher arrives and discovers Jonas' decomposing body. Later, his parents and police arrive to investigate the scene. Days have passed, and the students are still healing. Their teacher makes an appropriate announcement as the 1-month anniversary of the tragedy at Melody Lane approaches. He explains that the Low Shoulder decides to assist their community. Additionally, he states that their song, Through the Treaties, has become their unofficial anthem, and they choose to release a single, with 3% of the proceeds going to the local families who have suffered a loss. However, Needy objects because she believes it is unjust and selfish. Additionally, she confirms that the news about the Low Shoulder being a hero is just a rumor, and states that she was present during the tragedy and that the Low Shoulder did not intervene. Needy notices Jennifer's pale face. Jennifer is becoming depressed because she believes she is just like the other normal girls at school. She makes no mention of how she became pale. While walking, Colin speaks with Jennifer. He gives her his pitch, but Jennifer gives him the impression that she is uninterested in him. However, when Needy informs Jennifer that Colin is an excellent and nice guy, Jennifer calls Colin and invites him to her house. Needy and Chip are about to begin their hormone activity in this scene, while Colin is driving his car to Jennifer's house. He notices how creepy the locations are due to the lack of light in the homes. It is dark and deserted. Finally, he arrives at the address. However, the door is locked, but he gains entry. Colin is cautiously searching the room of Jennifer even though the house is old, deserted, and dark. He ascends and sees her finally. Since Jennifer values every hormone minute, she kisses him quickly and untucks his pants. While Colin embraces the moment, he notices a change in Jennifer's eyes that makes him fearful. He begins to lose interest, but Jennifer eventually transforms into an evil creature that devours his flesh. While Needy and Chip are engaged in their activity, Needy notices blood on the ceiling and Colin and Jennifer on the couch. As a result of these pictures, she concludes that Colin is in danger and immediately halts their activity and drives her car. While driving, she encounters Jennifer on the street and later destroys her car's front windscreen, but she manages to flee. Needy has returned home. She quickly lies on the bed, exhausted and frustrated by everything. To her surprise, Jennifer is on her side. Jennifer seduces her at this point, but Needy eventually gains control and stops her boiling hormones. Jennifer begins to reveal the events that transpired following the Melody Lane tragedy. She informs her that the Low Shoulder exploits her by offering her as a sacrifice to the devil. She convinces them to stop, but those guys appear to be desperate for their goal, and their leader later initiates the ritual and stabs, killing her. However, she survives and makes her way to the house of Needy. At that time, all she remembers is being hungry. While walking, she encounters Amit, the Indian exchange student, and later devours him. Additionally, she reveals that she becomes unkillable when she is full. She demonstrates this by scratching her arms, which heal instantly after a few seconds. Due to these, Needy requests that she vacate her room, which she does by jumping on her windows. Jennifer does not speak with Needy again shortly after her revelations. Thus, Needy's interest in her never ceases to vex her mind. She researches their library's occult section and learns about paranormal studies. After compiling her research, she speaks with Chip and informs him of everything she has discovered. She discusses demonic transference, which occurs when someone attempts to sacrifice a virgin to Satan without actually using a virgin. She states that if the human sacrifice is impure, the result can still be obtained, but the demon will remain permanently lodged in the victim's soul. As a result, she must perpetually feed on her flesh in order to sustain the demon. Additionally, when she eats flesh, she will appear beautiful and glowing. After she informs him, Chip remains skeptical and wishes to attend the event, but she convinces him not to because he may become Jennifer's next victim. She informs him that she will be present to monitor Jennifer. The school is in the midst of formal spring preparations. Needy's mother is fixing her hair and makeup. Following that, she makes her way to school. Chip refuses to comply with Needy's request, so he prepares himself and his mother provides him with pepper spray for protection, but unfortunately, it's not the hormone spray. Jennifer notices that her beauty is fading again in the mirror, so she applies cream to conceal it and prepares to find a guy to devour. Chip has begun to walk. Jennifer surprises him and invites him to a conversation. She informs Chip of the erroneous information about Needy. She asserts that Colin and Needy are secretly attracted to one another. Jennifer is successful in luring Chip, kissing him, and inviting him to a private place ideal for hormones. Needy is carefully observing the crowd searching for Jennifer, but she senses that Chip is in grave danger and sprints to his house, where she later learns that Chip walks to school to attend the event. Chip and Jennifer are inside the abandoned building, which contains a filthy swimming pool. She begins by informing him that she feels empty. Jennifer attempts to kiss him again, but Chip believes it is inappropriate. Jennifer becomes enraged, and as a result of this, she pushes him into the pool. Fortunately, Needy is able to locate him due to Chip's loud screams. She sprints and manages to enter despite its difficulty. Inside, she witnesses Jennifer devouring Chip's flesh and leaps into the pool to save her boyfriend. Chip hurls the pepper spray at Needy and sprays it into Jennifer's eyes, just making her hot as hell. However, Jennifer maintains her strength and floats in the air. Needy and Chip exit the pool at this point, and Needy begins to argue with Jennifer. She explains why she feels compelled to take Chip out of all the available boys on the campus. Additionally, she expresses how terrible a friend she has been to her in the past. As a result of these, Jennifer becomes disgusted and declares that she will eat her flesh, but Chip manages to stab her in the chest with metal, rendering her weak and eventually leaving them. Chip is deteriorating at the moment. He informs Needy that he has died, but he regains his strength when he hears Needy's voice. Needy expresses her love for Chip, and he dies a few seconds later without any hormone let go. Soon afterward, Needy begins preparing to invade Jennifer. She enters her room through her windows and begins stabbing her, but Jennifer defends herself. However, when Needy removes her pendant, Jennifer becomes weak, and Needy seizes the opportunity to stab her in the heart, eventually killing her. The flashback narratives have concluded. Needy is now in the asylum as a result of her actions. However, she is not normal at this point. She was bitten by Jennifer and absorbed the demon's abilities, which enabled her to float and destroy the asylum's windows and escape. The film concludes when she sees a knife and stops a passing car, instructing the driver to drop her off at East towards Madison, where she will meet the Low Shoulder to teach them a lesson. This is Daniel's CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your fun for today.